Hello chaps, John with you, and we're back again. I'll just straighten up that a bit. There we go, that's a bit better. Yeah, we're going to fall over there for a second. And we're back with another update on the little Renault FT17. If you remember in the last update, I had realised that I'd done a boo-boo. Yes, I had realised I'd made a boo-boo. And I made both these basically the same direction. I wanted the inner part of the wheel. You can see that the inner and the outer of those two wheels there is a slight difference, okay? Right, we've got an inside and an outside, and also then when it comes to that, if I want the wheel like that, this little piece here protruding, see it? It can move around. If I wanted to face that piece there has to be on the inside. Right, so there's my outside. So therefore, this one down here, right? Whoa, there we go. Yes, I did it the proper way. Okay, so now I've got a left and a right, a proper left and a proper right, rather than two rights or two lefts. Okay. Now, so we moved on then from there. I said I'd get the interior done. I'd see can I fit it in loose and be able to build this in one piece and paint and weather and all that separately, the whole lot. And it does fit in and out quite neatly. Found this box be kind of a bit empty looking, right? And I realised if I'm going to have the doors open, okay, because there's sort of two big doors here and a little flap there in the front, you'll be able to see in. Okay, we might be able to get his see in past the seat because there's not going to be a chap sitting down. So, damn, what'll I do? You know, because there's all this big space in here. So as you can see, I'm after putting in something that's got a little kind of ridge there. It's where the engine sort of butts up to that, and there's a part of the engine that probably protrudes just a little bit too long, so they did that for it, right? And how I found out what that all looks like is, I just googled Renault FT17 interior. Clicked on images and I got some lovely pics of the interior. Okay, so I know what colours I'm going to use in this. Practically white, basically. That's it. And it was kind of a dirty white interior, so obviously it would have been clean at some stage. But we're going to make it nice and dirty. We can do a lovely job with it. And here on either side there would have been racks, okay, gun racks, or not gun racks, but shell racks for the little shells for the gun, for the shooty thing, okay, ammo for the shooty thing. Now, because you're not going to get to see into that extent, right? They're going to be open a bit. You're going to have a cover on it. There's two other pieces that you can't see through, so we're not going to be able to really see into it. I'm not going to have any hatches open on the turret, I don't think. I don't think the detail is as good on the inside of the turret, but I don't know, because like they're so limited to what's inside in them. It was actually quite easy. Now there are two more little bits and pieces to go in here. And the picture of the inside that I got, it showed a wire cutters sort of down here. But then when I kind of took a close look at it, I realised it was a German World War II wire cutters. Now, well, that's what I take it as. Now, where sort of the wire cutters that the French would have used in World War I being basically the same, I don't know. But I do know that the Germans used this vehicle during the war, so the picture I saw, was it during the war? I do not know. Also then there was a fire extinguisher here. Now the fire extinguisher did look, say, World War One-ish, rather than the World War II style. If it was, totally converted over to the Germans, purely they'd use one of their standard fire extinguishers, but this was a pure sort of a long skinny one with a little kind of the pump action thing. So just a bit of round styrene we'll do grind there, because you're not going to get to see the top, but you're not going to get to see any bit of detail, but you will see that there's a sort of a fire extinguisher there. And you know, you can kind of build up the detail, and it may not look great when it's open like this, but when it's all sort of covered in over and painted, you can just get a slight little glimpse of it. That could make the difference. That could make a major difference. I'm not one for major I'll just take the light off that there so you can see. Not one for major sort of scratch building or anything like that, but it's just that this kit leaves it open for it. You know, there's the little bit that you'd have to do just to make it look that bit nicer isn't that much, so you know, why not go do that little extra bit. So the next stage now I'm going to do with this is I'm going to actually pop this out here, okay, and I'm going to paint the whole interior of that. Now what I'm going to do is actually I'm going to use a darker colour on it first, right? I have that old NATO brown, or not NATO brown, but red brown 2 that I got from Tamiya that didn't work out too nicely at all. But it's a handy colour just to have underneath, because when I'm going over that then with the white for the interior, I just want something so I can know that I'm getting into all the proper little angles and things, and then a little bit of chipping here and there, and then that should be quite nice. And then, you know, same with this. Although there's so little to be actually painted in that, it would need to be just as easy to install it now, and paint it in situ, because it's not that hard to get in there. You know, with a small brush there isn't really that much, you know. Everything is going to be white anyway, just by the tips are in black. The foot pedals, tips of them are in black. The seat is a kind of a brownish colour, and that basically is metal. And from what I gathered, there was sort of cushions onto that. It was a metal bar, and then we have sort of cushions sort of strapped onto it. That's what it seems to be on the pictures anyway. So I'll stick another little bit of styrene, round it off and things like that, so make that kind of a back cushion for it. And you know, bit of weathering, make it look nice, and then we can start working on the outside of it. So that's what I'm going to get done now, and I'll get back to you when all that is done. Okay. So, if anybody was wondering what I use here to block off the back bit, because I don't, I mean, like I said, I don't do scratch building, so I don't go buy sheets of styrene. And I found this in the box. What they are is they're stands for figures. I think they're off that little Africa Core pens or 2, where it comes with a couple of Africa Core figures. And that's the little stands that come with them. They sort of sanded it down to size, cut another one off and used the top of that, made it sort of, there's 2 pieces in that. You can just about make out the line there. But what I did then was I did the old texturing technique, where I just sort of paint the whole lot over with Tamiya extra thin and stipple it so that it'll kind of should hide the join line. Not that you're going to see it anyway, it's just a case of why not, rather than having it totally visible, just in case you get a glimpse. Always just in case, don't be always sort of sure that you're going to get away with it. And for that little hump thing, what that originally started off with was tarp, rolled up tarp, you know, from okay, not getting very much, there we go, one of these little kit pieces stick onto the outside of the tank that look absolutely horrible. I had a couple of there thrown in the box. I said I'd find a use for them somewhere, and lo and behold, there was this long one with a kind of a pointy bit. Cut it off, sanded off the ridges and things, and there we go. There's the that little bit of an engine covering piece that's on the inside. If anybody googles FT17 interior, you'll see what I'm talking about, that little yoke there. Now, that isn't exactly the shape it's meant to be. It's sort of meant to be kind of more, you know, more properly arched, rather than kind of a pointy arch. But you know, we're not going to get into really see and model it and measure it and all that kind of thing. It's just in case of it's literally a case of just in case you can see in and see that section. It's there and it'll be done. And that's it. So anyway, lads, I'm going to leave it at that. I'll get the little bit of painting done, get this thing stuck in, and I will see you on the next one. And on the next one then we'll be starting more exterior stuff as well. That's the roof piece that's going to have to be kind of painted white on the inside, as well. There are one or two other pieces that will, you know, need to get painted white on the inside, but I'm not really too worried about those at the moment. I just want to get the interior of this all done, and then we kind of move on. I know that the two doors that open out will have to be painted and methered and all that, but I'll do all them separately anyway. So we'll do it when we get there, isn't that it? When we get there. Taking this one nice and slow. I'm enjoying every little bit of it, believe it or not. So anyway, lads, see you soon. Take care. Enjoy your modelling. Be nice to one another. But most importantly of all, just go out and buy yourself a kit. Build it and enjoy it. This is John signing off. See you soon. Take care.